Welcome back to the Cronecast at the Rising Moon. My name is Elaine, and on this channel I do pick a card readings, I do astrology readings, I do the Spirit Guide Monthly live every last Friday of the month, and I hope you're able to join me. But I'm also doing this, a series of videos on how to manifest, how to improve your manifestations, and how to learn magic. Now, this is not the type of magic that I practice. I practice celestial and angelic magic. Eventually I will be teaching that, likely in a Patreon. What we're doing though is trying to help you find your own magic power, no matter what discipline that you're working in, to make your manifestations take form and be solid within this reality and retain them within this reality more frequently and with greater ease. And one of the things that you can do for that is identifying your life's purpose. People come to me all the time and they ask, what's my life's purpose? And they think it's a job. It is not a profession. Your life's purpose is your mission here during this lifetime. And we all come here with something to learn, something to do. Eventually, there usually is a role to play in the greater world because we do come here to contribute to the greater whole. We are all one. We are all here to help one another. Your life's purpose journey begins in discovering the lessons that you are trying to learn about self. And that is going to be contained in your fears. Everything contains its opposite. So if you have anxiety issues, then the thing that you're trying to learn is to trust in yourself, to trust in your own power, to trust in your own abilities, to learn not to fear the future, but to have confidence in self. So if you have an anxiety issue, then you're trying to learn self-confidence. And there's a whole method around how to do that, how to heal your inner child, how to discover how to heal your inner child, your shadow work, your trauma work that helps with that. But the first step in identifying your life's purpose is finding out the attributes that you possess in your personality that you're trying to improve. Don't think of them as flaws, think of them as areas to improve. So as for instance, if you're like me and you're trying to work on your temper, because I'm a very fiery person, if you're like me trying to work on your temper, then what you're trying to learn is peace and patience. Peace and patience are the two most powerful energies that you can inhabit. When you have patience, you are waiting for things to come in the time they are meant to be, which is one of the things that helps guarantee that you will get to keep the manifestations that you are trying to make happen. And you will see people who are working with the law of attraction, they have these great big things happen, and they haven't set up a proper energy exchange. I will be talking about how to maintain an energy exchange and what an energy exchange is. We live best in a state of balance. Our manifestation and our magic works best in a state of energetic balance as well. In terms of how that applies to your life's purpose, once you have resolved the lessons, think of it as your prerequisites that you need to learn within this lifetime, you are stepping into your full power. So again, if you're working on anger, patience and peace is the thing that you need to learn how to inhabit. And how do you do that? You start reprogramming how you think about things. The law of attraction, which I will be doing a video on the very slight flaw that the law of attraction has in the manner in which is it conveyed. It teaches us that we can't have negative thoughts. It's not quite accurate. Everything contains its opposite, and denial is just repression. It will come back at you if you're not able to resolve it. It's like leaving your baggage in the unclaimed baggage area. You have to unpack it, you have to understand it, you have to resolve it, you have to release it so that you can control it and wield the power that comes from dark source. We all have light source, we all have dark source. When you're living in your purposeful energy, you're trying to resolve your issues with your dark source because it's very powerful stuff. But to have manifestations that add to your life, to add to your happiness, to add to your abundance, they have to be fueled primarily by the control of light source. And so that's what part of your life's purpose is. And it's actually very easy to do. Sit down and identify your 3 biggest areas to improve. If you want to call them flaws, you can, but they're not. They're the lessons that you came here to learn. Sometimes it will be about indecision, which you need to work on your willpower, your commitment. This is again a self-confidence issue. Sometimes it will be about fear. Now, if you're very fear-ruled, it can be that you need to learn how to love openly in all manner of things. If you are dealing with depression or despair, trying to find life, joy in every single moment of life is the key to that, how to resolve that. So the work that you start doing to find your purpose, because again, it's not a profession, it's a purpose. The path that you are meant to walk in this lifetime, the life that you have decided to lead, we do choose our existences, and I'm going to be doing a video on why people would choose to have very difficult existences. Because when people hear that, I chose my existence, always the people who've had tremendous amounts of trauma ask the same question: why would I do that to myself? I'm going to have another short video to explain that. I'm trying to keep these short. Please don't forget to subscribe so that you'll know every time I'm posting them. They're going to be between 3 and 5 minutes long. Identifying your life's purpose starts with identifying the areas that you need to improve within your own energy. And that's not about not being perfect as you are. Nothing about you is an accident. Nothing about you is an accident, but there are things about you that you chose to have so that you could work on improving them so that you could get higher and higher and higher in your spiritual evolution. And that is the point of trying to find the things that you need to unpack, examine, and start to correct through behavioral management. If you're very fearful, then you would talk to yourself about be peaceful, you can figure this out. You always figure out a solution. If you're prone to despair, then what you do is you find 5 great things in your environment and you really focus on them. You focus on the beauty, you focus on the sight, you focus on the smells, whatever it might be that sparks interest and delight. That is one of the ways to start counteracting despair and depression. All of your emotions have a counterbalancing emotion, and you start behaving in ways, going towards behaviors and choosing thought patterns that will start correcting it. And it's not the same as despair. It's not the same as denial. Denial of it, saying, oh, I'm fearful, therefore I'll be brave, I'll be brave, I'll be brave. Understand what you're afraid of. Understand that's your shadow work. What might have caused that fear? Did you have very hypercritical parents who you couldn't make a mistake around them? If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I've got just a ridiculously bad backstory, and I start laughing about it every single time because it's been so long that I'm actually fine. It took me a long time, and there was a rough period in my life as well, several of them, as I tried to resolve them. But I understand why I would have undertaken those lessons, because the more lessons that you learn, the more powerful you become. Particularly if you've been living a life of isolation and anxiety, chances are very good that you are a very powerful person, but you fear your own power. So that's how you start going towards your life's purpose. Once you have identified the areas that you have that are limiting you, the opposite energy of that contains your purposeful journey. So if you are fear-based, then love would be the opposite energy of that. We think of hate being the opposite energy of love. It's not, it's fear. And likely healing, helping each other, pouring compassion onto a wounded world would be part of your life's purpose. So that is how you start discovering your life's purpose, is by identifying the areas of your personality that hold you back, so that you can start addressing them, understanding them, controlling them, reprogramming them, take control of them, and then they are your power. You've mastered them, and they go into your manifestations. Okay, so that is the part of how to discover your life's purpose and your life's journey. First, you have to resolve. It's like taking your undergraduate degree, learning the lessons from within, so that you can then go to the master's program where you manifest without. I hope this was helpful for you. Please join me for this series. There'll be another one soon. It's going to be about why would I choose an existence that was so challenging and what it might do for me. And then I have ones on how to improve my manifestations and how to make sure that I retain them. Big manifestations can come in quickly, but if you don't use the proper energy exchange, if you don't build and layer them correctly, then you're unlikely to keep them, or another area of your life will suffer. I hope to see you again really soon. Please don't forget to subscribe. It helps my channel. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, because that's part of an energy exchange. And if you want to book me for a private reading, there's a link to my website in the description box down below. Take care.